I'm Ebony Kenney. So my audition process was so random. I had posted a poker vlog, like to vlog or not poker vlog, on Twitter, and Aaliyah from PokerNews, like formerly PokerNews, responded. She was like, hey, you should totally audition for the Thirst Lounge. And I was like, oh, what is that? And I'm like, when is it due? And she's like, tonight at midnight. And it was like 10:30. And I was like, okay. So I randomly put it together, and my first shot, I sent it, and I made it to the finals, and now here I am. I like looked into it, and I was like, oh my God, that would be amazing and so much fun. So for sure, I'm the mama bear. I'm the oldest, which isn't saying much, whatever, because we're all pretty young. But I definitely kind of took on the role of like peacekeeper, kind of running. Like, we've had some contract meetings and some discussions about what we're going to do with content and whatnot. And Adam, Survivor Adam, and I and Kat just naturally took the whole like leadership role and kind of keeping everyone on focus. But the group itself, the dynamic is bananas. Everyone gets along really well. And you can kind of see like who we're gonna have to reel in and tell them not to, you know, to kind of like stole the role a little bit. John Pardy. He got naked already, and like we were in the house for like 8 hours, and like thank God I missed it. I was putting on makeup, and I just come out, and he's just like this, and his boxers, and they're like, oh my God, he was doing this full, you know, full Monty, and I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, but like I am so excited about it. I know that we're all super thrilled and excited and grateful to Bill for putting this together, and yeah, I'm stoked.
I am Kat Valdez. I am a YouTube personality, or have been for the last 10 years, and I just recently moved to Vegas to start playing a lot more poker and figure out that world. I have been a vlogger for 10 years, and so it was really fun and exciting in the beginning, but just like any job, like when it becomes a job, it's your job, and it's not as interesting anymore. And so I'd say about 2 years ago, I started to get a lot more, I started to feel burnout, and like I just needed something more to my life, because it's just like, wake up, do I want to make a video today? Nah, okay, I'm not gonna do it. And then it would just become this like, I didn't have a schedule, I didn't have enough things adding into my life. I like a challenge, I'm very competitive, and I felt like those needs weren't getting met in the YouTube space anymore, because I kind of had reached my ceiling to some level, and I didn't have the inspiration to keep trying to like grow more. And so when I started playing poker like a year and a half ago, I was like, wait, there's a huge ceiling for me here, because I'm very competitive. I play lots of board games. I'm just always been a gaming nerd. And like, once I realized like it mixes like psychology and competitiveness and just like money and just all these things that make it such an adrenaline rush of a game, I just loved it. And I kind of just jumped into the poker community via Twitter. And I was just like, oh, I'll start following a bunch of Twitter people that like, I Googled like famous poker players, because I couldn't even name one when I first started playing. Like, I didn't know anyone. I'd never watched it on TV. I didn't know anything about it. And so I just kind of jumped, you know, feet first in, and like I started connecting with people on Twitter. And then I flew out to Vegas, started meeting people at tournaments and stuff. And I was like, okay, like there's like actually a community here, and like people, and I started to make friends. And so as I started to move towards more just poker being my interest, I was having like less and less interest of being like Katrific the vlogger, who just like, because that's just a different audience than poker. Like, poker is predominantly male. Doesn't mean there's not a lot of women, it's just there's more men. And then my previous audience with Katrific stuff was primarily young girls. So it didn't really make sense for me to keep making poker content on my channel, or start making poker content on my channel, because it just wouldn't be the right audience. So I was like, yeah, I'm okay with just like not really doing as much with my YouTube channel. And then when the Thirst Lounge stuff came into play, it was like, okay, well, this makes sense, because it's taking skills that like I already know how to do, which is like be an online personality, stream, make content, whatever, and it's mixing it with poker, and it's not having to go on my platforms. It's like going on someone else's, and I'm not solely responsible for the success of this channel. And like that is just like a huge relief off my back, because now I can just show up and like be talent and like do whatever they want me to do, and I don't have to do everything for it. It's not guys, be quiet. So I just enjoy that it's not like my brand on the line per se, and like that it's just pressure's not all on me to succeed, and I get to be a part of some. I've worked alone for the last like 8 years. It's like I'm my film crew, I'm my editor, I'm my producer, I do everything, and so being a part of a team is actually really fun, and I'm excited to like collaborate with people and like we're all in it together, and that feels like comforting, and I'm really excited about it. So.
My name is John Pardy. I'm originally from Newfoundland, Canada, living in Toronto, Canada right now. Played hockey my whole life. Shoulder surgeries took that dream away, and then I was lucky enough to get cast on Big Brother Canada, and I ended up winning that. So it was actually Arlie Shaban played on my season of Big Brother. So like we were like best friends. And like I'll never forget the moment when Arlie was like, "Oh my God, there's a poker player on season 3. Like if he's better than me, like I'm gonna go pro for sure." And like we've just, Kevin, now Arlie's like a pro, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened? Even the way I applied, it was my little sister's birthday, and she was like, yo, like for my birthday, can you send in like an audition tape for my favorite show? And I was like, well, cheapest gift of all time. Like, of course I'm gonna do it. So I sent in the tape, and they called me back, and that was it. Like I knew nothing when I was in the house. I've never watched an episode, like had no idea. But Kevin relates everything to poker. His life is just related to poker. I think it was like a very, one was underestimated because I didn't know enough, and like I think my goofy personality was kind of like, well, let this guy kind of just do what he's doing. And then, yeah, a little bit of luck and a few competition wins, and it's gonna be like, I love like in a room where people are laughing and having fun is like where I'm most comfortable. I love to see smiles. I'm a very high energy guy, and yeah, I love to entertain. I love to have a whole lot of fun as well.
So I'm Justin Kelly, aka Train. That's a totally different story for a much longer interview with Crazy Cocktails, for sure. I was born and raised in Sacramento, and I've been playing cards since Carry the One. I was really, really young and probably not legally allowed to tell you. But yeah, so I was playing cards for a long time there, around the Sacramento area. The Northern California community is really, really awesome in poker. And then I started basically hosting some online poker shows, like at Stones Live. And I got a gig hosting some poker shows out in Costa Rica for America's Card Room The Cage. And the rest is history. This Thirst Lounge opportunity came up, and I said, how can I not? Well, I think we're in for a very wild ride, to say the least. It was one of those things where I've been doing Stones for a while, I've been doing the Costa Rica gig for a while, this came up and I said, I just gotta give it a shot. Now, meeting the team, I mean, you see all their personalities online, but you never really know what they're gonna be like in person. Gotta say, pleasantly surprised. Now, even though we're all gonna be hosting this show, even coming here feels essentially already like, this is the real world, right? I mean, this is like 10 people in a house, see what happens. And surprisingly enough, outside of John Pardy already getting naked night one, it's been a blast. Everybody is having a lot of fun. Everybody jives really well. It's just a very eclectic, dynamic crew who I think is just gonna kill it. I mean, and the cool thing about the Thirst Lounge is we're gonna end up running this channel consistently. And I don't care what's your flavor, what's your style, there's always going to be somebody I think you as a viewer, as an audience member can connect with. And it's not just poker, it's everything. Prime example, at home, I'm an arcade and pinball and video game collector. So, I mean, I'm gonna have pinball streams and Heads Up World Series of Poker digital machine challenges at my house, and I have golden tea and mini golf and all that crap, and we're gonna get thirsty in the Thirst Lounge. Let's do it.
My name's Adam Klein. I'm a new host of the Thirst Lounge and best known for winning Survivor Millennials vs. Generation X. Absolutely, yeah, I love all kinds of strategy games. That's why I love poker, I love board games, and I was a massive fan of Survivor from the very beginning. Like the first episode I watched was the finale of season 1, and then 15 years later, I got on and was able to win the show. So that's where a lot of my love of games comes from, is just growing up like watching Survivor and then playing poker with my grandpa and with the rest of my family. Like, I would be the one gathering the family up, being like, can we play? And we would always play dealer's choice. So we would do like 7-card stud with deuces wild, or like baseball, or the good, the bad, and the ugly with Yo Mama, or whatever, like all kinds of crazy games. Oh, when you add in Yo Mama, you just add like a ghost hand. And if the ghost hand beats everybody, then anyone who's still in the pot at the end, who makes it to showdown, plays again with the same pot. So no one wins, and then you just repeat the hand. So the last time I played, we went to showdown 3 times, and Yo Mama won like the first 2 times. So we ended up playing 3 hands. And with the good, the bad, and the ugly, if you get the ugly card, you can be eliminated at the end of the hand, even if you have the winning hand. I love games like that. So we're going to have some fun in the Thirst Lounge. Like, I'm not just going to be playing Texas Hold'em. Like, we're going to play some other board games, card games, strategy games, maybe some competitive reality TV shows. Maybe we'll bring The Mole back, which was my favorite, you know, reality show growing up. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to do a lot of different things, not just Texas Hold'em.
My name is actually John Gonzalez, but everybody knows me online as Drew. It's kind of how my personality, I guess, is known. Everyone, like, if I say John, nobody's gonna know who I am. Like, everyone knows me as Drew on Twitch. And that kind of stemmed from Black Friday. Like, months before that happened, I got on PokerStars and started playing for the first time. Actually, a little bit before that, but my name was Drew Peacock initially, and if you say it out loud to yourself, you'll kind of get it. And then, you know, years later, I'm like, maybe we need to like raise the maturity level of your name. And so then, okay, poker, bet on Drew, and so it evolved into that, and so I stuck with it. And then once you're just like Drew, it's like, what's your name? Like, I don't even respond to John. Like, I hear John, and now I'm thinking of John Pardy, but like, it's weird. Like, my mom calls me John Ray. You know, that's like a mom thing. Slide the middle name in there. 2013, 2014, I was reading an article on Pocket Fives. So you're streaming your tournaments and people can see your cards. And so initially I was like, oh, that doesn't make sense to me. And I looked into it and it didn't catch me at first. But then maybe a year later, it started to get more popular. Jaime Staples and everyone. I was like, okay, let me look into this. And then I realized, honestly, at first it was like, oh, you can like monetize from this. So it got me interested. And then I slid in, and then I realized, hey, wow, I'm an introvert, and this is like an easy way to like just be out there and things like that. And so I decided, like, how do I make this work? Like, I don't even get it. And I was like, just be yourself. And so I'm kind of like an easygoing guy, you know, like good vibes, positivity. And so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna do this. We'll see if people like it. And that's kind of how I was thinking. I was like, you know what? There's so many people that, like, you could see the rage moments, which are great, by the way, in poker, but then there's people who kind of just need that safe haven of positive, good vibes. So I was like, oh yeah, this is my sweet spot. Like, I can do this. And so since 2000, what year are we in? 19? Wow. It sounds crazy. It's like we should have hoverboards by now. But so like 2016, 2015, I like started streaming. And it's just like, you go 5-6 days a week, people eventually know you. And I remember my thing is I didn't want to miss any chat or anything ever. And I tried to remember stuff about people, and people would come back and I'd be like, oh, you're the guy with 4 kids. It's like, how'd you remember that? And I was like, I have no idea. And then they're like lifelong fans. You know what I mean? Like, if you can establish that connection. And so I'm decent at that. And, you know, 3 years later, partnered streamer, and my community is super excited about this. I'm kind of like I feel like, in a sense, like an underdog. Like, who are you? A lot of people don't really know you, but the community is like behind you. You're like, oh, come on, it's so cool, and you're gonna be with all these people, and blah, blah, blah. So it's kind of like, and I have Twitch tattoo to, like, this was my, like, thing to the community. Like, you guys have done a lot for me, and it's got me here, so let's make the most of it, you know?
My name is Voislav Ivanovski. I'm from Australia. The name comes from Macedonia. If you haven't heard of it, Google it, you know, figure out what's going on over there. Currently, I'm living in Brussels, in Belgium. If you don't know where that is, Google it. You should know. Love traveling, so I lived in Paris for a year. Now I'm living in Brussels. Now I guess I'm going to the Virgin Islands. I don't know, life's just kind of happening around me. Love playing poker, I love making hip-hop beats. So I'm on SoundCloud if you want to listen to some lo-fi hip-hop beats. I like to do that. I don't know what my SoundCloud name is though. I think it's Voislav BXL. Yeah, which is the same as my Twitter. Well, first, like, meeting everyone has just been amazing. Like, we're just all like connecting, like we've been best friends for years. Like, it's hilarious. Finding out about the competition was really interesting as well, because I just moved to Brussels, trying to reorganize my life again. And my girlfriend and I went back to Paris to pick up her cat. And my best friend was also in Paris at the same time, who's a videographer. And then the morning we woke up and this challenge was out. And we're like, let's film a fucking video. Like, let's do it. So we went out, walked around the city, filmed whatever we could, went home, drank some beers, edited a video, and that was basically it. Just had fun with it, you know, like, didn't take it too seriously or anything, just like, you and your best friend are on the other side of the world together for the first time, you know, like, you don't really think anything of it, and here we are.
My name is Priestley Leng, from Connecticut originally. I went to college at Central Connecticut State University, got my MBA at UConn. I worked at this manufacturing company for many years. I worked up to a senior accountant position there. You know, they put me through grad school and everything. But like, I'm a big advocate for living your best life. So I left that job to pursue my dream of playing poker and creating content online. It was a plan that took many years. Like, I had a roommate back in Connecticut, and we would drive to the casino like every single weekend, 2 hours to Mohegan Sun or to Foxwoods, and we would sleep in our cars and we would grind. We would sleep in our cars, grind again, and you know, we just do it every weekend. So I tested it out to see if like I could make poker something that is like profitable, and I played like the lowest stakes. I built my bankroll up and moved up in stakes, and I was like, yeah, this is something I want to do. So I was like, the 9 to 5 grind was just something I didn't want to do. It was like more hours than that. Like you're putting like 50, 60 hours in a week at work. Then you're grinding poker on the weekends. And I was like, I want to be able to live a life where I can take vacation whenever I want, wake up in the morning when I want, because I'm not a morning person at all. Like, I set my alarm and it goes off 20 times before I wake up in the morning. So it was just a lot of planning. Whenever I took vacations, like most of the time I would fly out to Vegas. So I flew out to Vegas maybe, you know, 3 or 4 times a year, and played at the casino, you know. Yeah, so like, I've always been an introvert. Like, I didn't really, you know, go out and like be in like a big social circle. So being on camera, filming myself was a little awkward at first. I take a lot of different cuts. Like, I record myself, like I messed up, or I gotta re-record that. So public speaking is not my forte either. Stumble a lot, and just something that I wanted to get more comfortable at doing, and I wanted to share my story, my journey of what I was doing, and I was able to do that with making YouTube vlogs, because like I can edit out like stuff that, you know, didn't work out. Like if I stumble, I can cut out my ums. I say a lot, so I don't know what else you're looking for in that.
No, I mean, I think it's fantastic, and I think it's so cool, because this is exactly what makes the Thirst Lounge so interesting, in my opinion, is that it's brought together tons of people with tons of different talent, all of whom are going to have an audience they come with and an audience that's going to be new. So I guess the final thing I would just want to know is what inspired you to want to be a part of this team, and then having since like met everybody, how do you feel moving forward? Okay.
Well, when I first sent my audition tape, you want to say, into it, I had no idea what I was going to get into. Like, I think I saw one of the posts on either Jaime or Jeff's Instagram stories, and it said, be a host of the Thirst Lounge. It's like streaming poker content. You'd be a host of it. You'd be set up on an island for, I don't even know how long. It's like, that sounds awesome, you know? So I was waiting for more details on it, and just one day I went on my computer and it was like, all right, 1 day for submissions left. I was like, oh crap, I missed like what's gonna, you know, when to submit this video, and I had ideas of what I wanted to do. I was gonna go down there, strip, record a bunch of stuff. So I was like, all right, I gotta make a video and submit it in the next couple hours. So like, I spent that entire afternoon working on that video, submitted it, and I mean, here I am now. Didn't hear anything for like a couple months. I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what's going on with this project. Probably not gonna get picked. And then when they announced who the winners were, I was like so stoked about it. Like, I recorded my live reaction on it, and like it was epic. But now that we got more details on it, like, we all met today in the Houston office. We talked about what kind of stuff we're gonna be putting on the channel, when we're gonna be out on the island. Everything sounds so epic. Like, there's so much great personality within all these people that are on the show. We're gonna make this something huge.
Most people would know me as the last woman standing in the WSOP main event in 2015 and last year. And I also was GPI's Female Player of the Year for 2015. You know, this is so out of my element, but a year ago I decided to quit my job and take poker a lot more serious and play semi full-time. And so now that I've entered this space, I've tried to push the envelope for myself and like put myself in a position to grow my brand. And I know that a lot of that is incorporated into streaming and like getting into the Twitch community, and I don't have any of those skills, and I don't know how to like chop up videos and make them exciting. Like that whole Doug Polk like cool video thing is completely foreign to me. So when I saw Bill running this contest, I was like, this is the perfect opportunity, because there's like a team of people that will do all the things to make the videos exciting for me. So I just have to show up and like look pretty, and then they do all the work. So I'm like, okay, this is great. You know, Bill already has a following with Thirst Lounge. Like we just have to build on that. And I'm like, I can add to his brand and he can add to mine. So I thought it was a great opportunity. So going into it, I was a little nervous. Like I'm not the most social person in the world. So I'm like, okay, when I initially had applied for this, it was going to be one winner, and then it changed to like maybe a group of like 4 or 5. And then when they made the announcement, it was just 10 people. I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is like really for me. It seems like a lot. Like, what if these people are like not for me, and then I have to like be in a like living situation with them? And so I got here like not knowing what to expect, and within like 30 minutes we're all laughing and like having the best time. So it just feels like it was meant to be. And like all of our personalities mesh really well, and no one thinks I'm completely insane because everyone else is kind of like a big personality. So we've just been having a good time, and I'm looking forward to like the establishment of that like natural connection we all have.
All right, my name is Matthew Forsyth. I'm 26 years old. I'm originally from Kentucky, a small town in Kentucky, but now I live in my car and travel around the United States. It started right after college. I got a degree in psychology, which I've never used even up to this point. I was going to go on to medical school and become a doctor, but I'm like, nah, I don't really want to become a doctor. So I just packed up everything I owned into my car, started traveling around the United States. I didn't have any money, didn't know where I was going to go or what I was going to do. I just got random jobs. Like I worked as a cashier out in Arizona. I sold furniture down in Florida. So I just got super random jobs. Eventually I found poker, played online poker for a few years, and then just one day decided I want to transition to online, or to transition to live poker. Did that, and I've been doing that for about 1.5 years now. My dad had played poker on and off just casually throughout his whole life, and I had played card games throughout my whole life. So I just love the strategy aspect of poker, I guess. I follow more on the kind of GTO, Doug Polk kind of like just really learning the game from the inside out. So I really love that aspect. I initially fell in love with it when I saw Jason Somerville streaming on Twitch, and so yeah, I saw him streaming on Twitch, and I'm like, man, this is so awesome, I gotta get in here. So I just started doing free rolls on PokerStars, eventually transitioned over to online. And yeah, I just love the strategy aspect of it, I suppose. I've been following Bill Perkins on Twitter for a long time. I'd watched his interviews with Joe Ingram on YouTube, and I just love kind of Bill's perspective on life. So when I saw this pop up, I thought it was just an amazing opportunity. It kind of mixes both my passions of poker and travel, so I get to live in the Virgin Islands and play poker. That just sounded like an awesome opportunity. And it's awesome. We got 10 really unique people with different backstories, different kind of views on life. So I think it's really meshing together well, and I'm super excited for it.